In 12 months, they've probably added like 3 Macy's worth of inventory.
If I'm a retailer, I need that. Otherwise, I'm not going to be competitive.
This guy just added 10 million products in 9 months, and he wants to do more and move faster. We've said this before. I'll say it again. Walmart will go down as the number 2 dominant marketplace. So Walmart had a big beat, had continuous sales growth over 5 years, and their e-commerce sales rose 41%. And they were attributing a lot of that success to grocery orders. And so this also is kind of the grocery pickup in store. But then if you remember, they launched the unlimited delivery option, kind of like an Amazon Prime competitor, where you pay either $100 or $120 a year.
They also did in-home delivery.
And you can get in-home delivery of groceries and these kinds of things. So it's clearly working. The 41%, they had projected previously like high 30%-ish growth. And so this is at a 41%. They're beating on that. They've done this now multiple quarters in a row where they've beaten on the e-commerce growth. Not just having strong overall sales growth, but the e-commerce is continuing to outpace what their projections were.
Same store sales growth, basically. The in-store retail stuff is growing, I think, about 3-4%, which is good for a traditional retailer. And the e-commerce stuff is growing basically an order of magnitude faster than that, 40-ish%. And the interesting thing, too, they also disclosed some numbers on third-party sellers and said basically since the beginning of this year, they've added like 10 million SKUs, and more than half of those are basically marketplace products. And that historically, the number of products on Walmart.com, I think they said that they want to increase it further this year. In the last year, basically 2017, they said it was kind of like Wild West. We opened let a bunch of people in. We've talked about that previously, how they rapidly expanded after Jet was acquired. They focused more on quality. And then the next year, the CEO basically said, Doug McMillon basically said, we need to focus on general merchandise, meaning kind of the general marketplace. The interesting stat that came out of that conversation, too, is he basically said, I think it was like 93% of the assortment on Walmart.com today is marketplace products. Mm-hmm. So they have about 3 to 4, I think, million core products that they sell, owned by Walmart, controlled by Walmart. But most of the products, not necessarily in terms of volume, but in terms of assortment, I think the total was about 52 to 55 million products on Walmart is sold by third parties. And that's not SKUs. Well, that's products. So, SKUs would be 1 to 2 times kind of that multiple.
So let's kind of break that down. You went over a lot of numbers. Yes. So Walmart added 10 million products to the online catalog. Point number 1. That's this year in 9 months. 10 million.
Not over 3 to 5 years, Granger.
Not over 3 to 5 years, 9 months. Walmart added 500,000 of that, right? So they added 500,000 that they were selling directly. That means their buyers go out, they source the product, they buy it on the balance sheet, they resell it.
Right.
So 9.5 million products added
by third-party sellers.
95,
or what is that? 90%, 95%?
95%.
Yeah.
I mean, that is big. They added 10,000 new sellers since the start of the year. 10,000 new sellers in 9 months. And they want to have even more. Now, the other numbers you were talking about. So now Walmart Marketplace has more than 32,000 sellers total. Mark, who came from Jet.com and has been leading e-commerce for Walmart, it says in 2017, we were adding SKUs so fast that we hadn't really kept a very high bar in terms of the quality of the SKUs and the quality of the merchants on the site. And now that has been, more and more of a focus for them. So last November, Walmart had 41 million products for sale online. So this is a year ago, of which 3.2 million were sold directly by Walmart. And now the catalog has grown to 52 million and still only 3.9 million are sold directly by Walmart.
So and basically in 12 months, they've added, 11 million SKUs. Only 700,000 of those are their own products.
Yeah, in 12 months, they've probably added like 3 Macy's worth of inventory. It's a joke. It goes to show you that the linear e-commerce model, or that would be like 12 Grangers worth of inventory.
Right. The linear model just can't compete.
It's not going to keep up.
Right.
And
this for them, they said, is slower growth, and that it's going to accelerate in basically a couple of years ahead.
So here's the number of products chart. I mean, I want that, right? If I'm a retailer, I want that.
I wouldn't say I want that. If I'm a retailer, I need that. Otherwise, I'm not going to be competitive.
Right. And if I don't have that, this scares me.
If I don't go that, my traffic tends to go in the other direction.
Right. Or you have the yellow line worth of growth. This is how you expand your first party products.
Right.
And this is how you get 41% growth in the third quarter for e-commerce sales, right? It just, grocery is, I don't want to discount the help of grocery. Grocery is still helping a lot.
It's huge because they have a huge advantage there. I think it's 52% of Walmart's retail sales in the US is grocery. And that's
is it 52? I knew it was at least 40%.
That's an area where they have a big advantage over Amazon because they have so much infrastructure and consumer relationships in place to handle this. So that's an area where they have an advantage where Amazon isn't already established, whereas in general merchandise, they're playing catch up.
So here, this is kind of in recap notes from Doug, the CEO. We're making progress on many fronts, but we need to do more and move faster. Okay. This guy just added 10 million products in 9 months, and he wants to do more and move faster. Put that in comparison to any linear e-commerce retailer, distributor, when they talk about their growth plans for SKU or product growth over the course of a 3 to 5 year period of time. And instead, they need to take those projections and say, we're going to do this in 12 months. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind in the dust, or you already are being left behind in the dust.
The other interesting part of that quote, if you bring that up again, was he was talking about product mix and how that relates to marketplace. And basically read between the lines here, what he's saying is we make better margins on our marketplace products than we do on stuff we sell ourselves like food, because as the product mix changes, as we increase marketplace sales, we're going to make better margins. Mm-hmm. Much like Amazon does. I think the numbers that got leaked about a year ago where they make double the margins on marketplace products as they do on 1P sales, meaning the stuff they sell themselves. Walmart's in the same boat, and that's how they're going to improve profitability. Yeah,
the 1P sales are really they're driving the volume, making sure they've got the stickiness, the absolute lowest prices. The customers are coming back again and again. And the marketplace is, where they're taking their take rate as opposed to, making a spread basically on what they purchased the material for.
Yeah.
So look, we've said this before. I'll say it again. Walmart will go down as the number 2 dominant marketplace behind Amazon. Not saying they need to beat Amazon, but just going down as the strong number 2 player where there's only 2 winners as a general overall e-commerce marketplace provider. Walmart will go down as the greatest transformation story in the past 50 years. From a linear retailer doing over $500 billion, basically no infrastructure, to now giving Amazon a run for its money, and it's working. And I think that's what a lot of the linear enterprises miss, is that they have a lot of advantages to jumpstart a platform or a marketplace model. Even if you are a retailer that's going head to head with Amazon. Remember, this really started in earnest in 2016. Right. We're 3-ish years into this. Now, Walmart's investing a lot of money. They're losing $1 billion a year in e-commerce, particularly on rolling out infrastructure to compete with Amazon. It's not cheap. But not like this is a positive.
Right. That said, not everyone operates at the scale that a Walmart does.
Not everyone operates at the scale.
So the costs aren't going to be the same if you're a more vertical specific retail organization. Walmart is basically doing everything.
Right. And we are seeing players win in vertical specific areas.
Right.
That could be a pure startup like we've talked about with Goat and StockX.
Yep.
Or you even have public ones like Farfetch. The Real is also public.
Yep.
You are seeing vertical specific marketplace winners as well. So look, there's still opportunity out there, but it's fleeting. And every day that you let it go by, especially even with Doug saying that they need to be adding more than essentially, if you just break it down equally, right? They need to be adding more than 3 million SKUs a quarter. And that's not fast enough. You can see slow, the pace that they want to be moving at. And you compare that to the linear players, and you can't even compare the two. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.